Hey guys, welcome back. So this is going to be part two of our YSS versus Charles mini series of two videos. This one we are going to compare Charles to YSS, but before that we need to look at the pros and cons for Charles self. And near the end, we're gonna again, like I mentioned in the first video, give you our opinion on which I think is the best option. So let's get started on Charles pros and cons. So Charles, let's start with the pros. Again, this is a pro and con. He is Shieldman. It's easier on your training ground. If you pair Alex, it's going to be a cavalry, Shieldman, bowman. So it's easier on a training ground. However, on your research, on your academy research, it's harder. Now you need to max cavalry, Shieldman, and bowman. So that's a lot more research that you need to max if you want to be at maximum power when it comes to PvP. Another good pros is the fact that his skill, when you look at his skill, it provides shielding, not healing. So this is good because healing is easily cancel or negated in the game. However, shielding is not that easy to cancel. We'll talk about it soon. It is a con at the same time, but most of the time it is a pro because shielding is hard to counter. Also, again, if you look at the skill, a little bit like YSS, he does not need to be in the Earth formation or with paired with only Earth immortals to get max value. He is extremely flexible. You can put him almost anywhere in any team. He will give a good shield absorption for the damage. So very good pros on that regard when it comes to his skill. Now, the other thing is that he is a little bit more easy to max if you use money. If you use money, you can get him, I would say, very easily. First, you have this event. If you buy this and you play the event, you're going to be able to max him quite easily, quite rapidly at a lower cost. But you also have these kind of bundles where Charles is going to be available. If you've bought him once, there's a bundle that comes back very often at $100 for 60 shards. Now that is quite expensive for an immortal. I would definitely go with this option instead, but given this option is quite easy to max if you use a bit of money. Another good pro is the fact that his artifact is extremely easy to obtain. You can get it from these boxes here. These are obtainable in almost all events, monthly events, very easy to get. And on top of that, he is also available in the Mysterium shop. No, actually, he's not available in the Mysterium shop. My mistake. He is only available in these boxes. But by now, most players have a lot of these, and if you don't, you can stack them pretty easily. Again, they're available in almost all events. Another good thing about the artifact is the special skill that it provides. It's going to provide, let's take a look at it from here to have a better description. All right, so when you look at the skill, the special skill that the special artifact gives Charles is actually really good. It's going to grant a critical attacks negation to the troop that has lost the most amount of troops. So, example, if your front row is Alex and he is the one that is getting hit the most, he is the one that is the lower HP at the moment. Whenever the skill, you have this artifact on Charles, and a skill from the enemy is going to crit attack on him, it's going to protect him. So this is a special artifact that provides something unique to the table. It's not like healing cut, where healing is already a skill that is provided by healers. YSS only put the healing increase by 30%, but is easily negated. While this is going to protect against critical hit, which is not something easily obtained in the game. There are going to be a few skill that helps against critical damage or critical hit, especially some of the new one that will be released. If you look at this one, again, critical damage. If you look at this one, critical immunity. So there are a few skills coming up soon that will help, but still Charles provide a very good, unique, or at least hard to obtain special skill on his artifact. So that is a very good pro. And the fact that it's very easy to obtain, of course. Now let's move on to the cons. We already talked about the Shieldman is going to be harder on your academy researches. But the main point about Charles is the fact that Shield can actually be countered unlike YSS skill. If you look at Poseidon, he is going to be the main counter to Charles. Bitten is going to target the shielding directly. Somebody that is bitten, so affected by Poseidon's skill, are not going to be able to get any shield. So if you play against a Poseidon, your troll is almost useless. You pretty much have to swap 200 the tank to get some value out of the tank because you're not going to get any value out of Charles unless the skill is not going off. But it's a chaos immortal is going to go off quite often, and you're going to be affected by bitten, and you're not going to be able to get any value from your trolls except his skills. Another good cons or bad cons is the fact that for a free to play player, Charles is actually quite hard to obtain. If you look in the Philistine, he is not available. If you look at King of the Hill box, of course, he's not going to be available in there. He will be available in these fragments, but you need to be quite lucky to obtain him. He is also not available in the Golden Path. You need to get the random ones and hope to be very lucky to unlock Charles. Um, he will be available in the market, however, for gem, which is good, but he is extremely rare at 1.85%. Same as Khan. He is extremely rare. It's very hard to max him only from the market. If you're a free to play player, first you need to be lucky or put money to unlock him, and then he is very hard to max. Give you an idea, this account is VIP 15. I've been playing for a long time. If you look at my YSS, it is maxed on the specialization. There's still a few here that I need to max. I have King of the Hill box that I could use on him, but I'm not using him, holding on for the moment. But if you look at my Charles, which used to be in my main team, he is only 5 and almost 5. Right now is 4 still. And like I mentioned, for a tank to be quite useful, it needs to be around 5 or 6 to be used on your main team because the specialization it's not only about the skill itself. It is very good addition because it provides good value, but it's also about the smaller nodes which are going to give a lot of defense physical, a lot of defense on the magical side as well. So being only 4, almost 5, even if there's pros and cons on YSS and Charles, I cannot use Charles in my main March compared to YSS that is max. So that is a con for Charles. He is really hard to max if you're not putting money into the game. So when you look at both Immortals, YSS, and Charles, in my opinion, I prefer YSS given the fact that he is easier to max. Now, if you're putting a little bit of money into the game, I really like Charles as well. Um, if it was me, I would have both max. I would use one in my main team with Alex, the other one in my second team. I think they're both very valuable If I only need to choose one, I would choose YSS, just given the fact that he is extremely easy to max. And from the King of the Hill boxes, he is the best get, in my opinion. So I would use all my, that's what I did. I used all my King of the Hill boxes on him. And I have a very good tank in my main march. I'm happy with it. I am doing Charles slowly. Whenever I see him in the market, he will be in my second team. If at some point my Charles is as strong as my YSS, I still think I'll use YSS in my main. However, I could put Charles in at some point as well, even alongside Alex, and just remove him whenever I face somebody like Poseidon. So this is it from this video. I hope it gives you more insight on both YSS and Charles if you're planning on going for one of them and not both. Just make sure the way you unlock them, you're going to be able to max them at least at, let's say, 5 to 6 specialization before you make that move. Yeah, and if you have any feedback, question, or topics you would like me to touch on like this one, feel free to comment in the video. Thanks for watching and have a good day, guys.